Yeah, guys, today was really scrappy. Like, how did you fight through that?
I feel like we just kind of like dug in when it was tied a lot of the way through, and we knew like we couldn't keep trading baskets with them, so we tried to like focus in a lot on our defense. And I think like a lot of people came up with big plays. Like Jill had a few big blocks. Kayla got a big steal at the end of the game, so it was just about like making plays at the end of the game when we really needed to.
Yeah, I mean, Sydney, you were kind of leading the score today, 13 points, 7 boards. I know that a lot of the time so far this season, it's just been kind of like who has the hotter hand. It's definitely been a collaborative approach every time. But you did start off like pretty hot there in the third quarter after the break. Was there anything that like you felt like you needed to switch in terms of a mindset or a game plan there?
Well, yeah, last game after the game, one of Coach's friends told me that I played a good game, but I was invisible in the first half. And so I was like, I was talking about it with like my dad, and he was like, well, he's not wrong. And then me and Paige were talking about, she's like, you needed to hear that. So I was like, I tried to come out with like a lot more aggressive mindset in the first half. And like I think that led to like some more turnovers too. But so I think it's going to be about like balancing that in like the coming games.
Evan's looking at me. Jill, it's been a bit of we know you're a tremendous shooter. It's been a bit of a slower start for you from a shooting standpoint. I mean, how does that transition come to getting into the later part of the season so you will hopefully start to heat up? You know, what are you focusing on from that standpoint?
I'm just trying to like stay positive, and like keep working hard, and like I know like the coaches believe in me, which like helps a lot. So just like shooting when I'm open and trying to make it. I guess that's really it.
She's not here, obviously, but I thought Haley had a pretty big night. What did you see from her that you thought really worked this evening?
Yeah, I think she's every time like she's come in, she's made big plays, and she's just like sometimes the energy that we need. And she works really hard on the court and just gives us more depth and a really good spark. So I really enjoy playing with her.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I think she's somebody like you kind of know what you're going to get out of her every time she comes on the court because she's just going all out. So I think she played really critical minutes and like did a good job of like getting into them and kind of changing the pace of the game, helping us be more aggressive and, kind of bringing more intensity, which I thought was something that we really needed. So she did a really good job today.
You guys haven't played a ton of close games yet this year, one way or another. So anything you can take away, coming down to as that one comes down to the wire, take away from a game that was really, coming down to it?
Yeah, I think like we can take away kind of like end of game plays, like everybody knowing what they're supposed to do, being like communicating and being in the right spots, and just I think we did a really good job the past couple games of making our free throws. So staying focused at the line and staying focused like when the game is kind of on the line and when we're tired is a really big thing that we'll take into the Big Ten as well.
Great answer.
Thank you guys.
Okay. Just a hard-fought game, and I thought we did a really good job in the fourth quarter, third and fourth quarter of taking advantage of our size and getting the ball inside a little better. They made you work for every possession. They were physical and turned us over a lot in the first half. We weren't ready for that. I think that much pressure, which we should be, but we just didn't do a very good job in the first half taking care of the ball. I thought second half our turnovers, we got under control. We got better shots. Just played with it. They'd sped us up a little bit, and the pace and the down the stretch was good for us. And made big plays. Paige made big free throws. Cal Rainey again. Sydney, Jillian. And I thought Courtney Shaw made a big block. It's important. We did a good job of managing the clock down the stretch. But hard game. We got to find ways to. I feel like. We saw it against UIC too, where teams are physically locking us down, and we got to find, ways to get to the basket. We got, we're not a prolific three-point shooting team, but we're capable. Or the problem is we're streaky, and opponents hate playing against streaky teams because you don't know when they're going to get hot. Coaches hate streaky teams because you want to know what you got to do and who's going to do what. So, we got to get more consistency, and that's what I mean by, instead of being streaky, be consistent. And I think, that's in the Big Ten when we've won championships. We've been, right there at the, top of the league the last 4 years. So to win in our league, especially with a young team, you gotta clean up, the little things. You can't turn the ball over in the Big Ten like that.
So you talk about issues with streakiness a little bit. Obviously, some days shots are going to fall, other days shots are not going to fall. But how, as a coach, do you think you can game plan to kind of combat that streakiness, if at all?
Yeah, I think we got to just work a lot more in practice. We haven't had a lot of practice time. Obviously, we're coming. We came right out of had to play at Duke, at Michigan, and then go get back that Sunday night, turn around, go right into finals week, where and then so we haven't had a lot of practice time in the last 3-4 weeks. So I think when we come back, or this will be a good week for us because we don't have school, and kind of just working on execution, which is really, and our timing. Air Force kind of rushed us. So I think that'll be the focal point. I feel like defensively, our efforts good. We just, we got to keep people off the foul line. But I think shooting the ball, we got to work a lot more on setting screens, using screens, getting the timing of catching. And but I do like over the last couple of games at Michigan, at Duke, that we were able to get the ball inside and score. So that's encouraging.
Some of the Air Force players got in foul trouble earlier, then fouled out sort of toward the end. What was sort of your game plan and mindset in taking out those key elements of their?
I mean, I'll tell you, they find ways to score. They really drive it at you hard. It's hard to stay in front of them. They get inside you, and they made some tough shots that were contested. But I feel like we were able. The thing that disappointed me was when we got a lot of stops in the first quarter, and we couldn't convert. We had numbers all the time in transition, and we came out with empty possessions, and we got to get better at that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me it was just back after the UIC game, you saw that these last two games have been really close. So in terms of consistency, you're able to pull through at the end. And I'm just kind of wondering, when it gets to that point, what's kind of the message that you're relaying to the players, especially when it comes to a defensive end? Because we were seeing today that you're mixing in some full court press looks, and it's just kind of the balance of staying aggressive but not committing fouls too late in the game as well.
Well, I feel like we turned them over in the last minute. There's a couple big plays we made defensively. So, we got to turn people over. We have because again, we need the ability to get out and get easy baskets off those turnovers. So I think that's our message. They know that. We just gotta we gotta get better at what we do. I was happy, and you had mentioned we gotta get people coming in off the bench and giving us really good minutes, and we got that tonight. Said Haley Weaver, I thought, did a great job, and Jazz is starting for us now. She's doing a really good job last two games, and we got to get Anna Morris is giving us good minutes, and we got to get some other people. We're deep, but we got to take advantage of it and get some experience.
For both offensively and defensively, can you talk about the point guard position and how you thought Kayla and Caroline played today?
Yeah, 1 second. I just want to look at that. Yeah, I mean, they're both, they both have the ability to run our team. and they both defensively, I think, can disrupt who we're playing. I think both of them, which I'm happy about, are becoming more aggressive offensively. They're looking to score, and whether it's getting to the basket, they both can shoot threes, and we haven't seen a lot of zone at times but we'll get to where we can get them open shots and they can create, and I think they're both doing a really good job. So it's good to have two players that you feel like, Kayla's been with me a long time, and I know what she can do. I've seen her in, tough situations last year, and I played her sometimes with Veronica Burton, and I think we can play these two together a little bit too. But, they're both, been thrown into some tough situations. All right, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.